Apologize for the list start. We apologize for the list start, but the Honorable Senator-elect is here. So we're about to start. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sisi Goya. I am one of the members of the board of directors of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota, and I'm going to be MC tonight. So, are we ready? All right. Completed town hall engagement by the Senator-elect of Gbarpolu County, Honorable Amara Konneh. Facilitated by the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota. We are a spiritual people as Liberians, and so we're going to begin this with a form of spirituality. So I already see Reverend George Wallow, the Executive Director of the Liberian Ministers Association, is going to open us up with a prayer. Reverend Wallow.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Mount Zion Interdenominational Christian Assembly. My name is Pastor George Wallow. I'm the Executive Director of the Liberian Ministers Association in Minnesota. We would like to take our inspiration, as the MC has rightly said. I'll read from the book of Kings, 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 9. Give me an understanding heart, so that I can govern your people well and know the difference between right and wrong. For who by himself is able to govern this great people of yours? The Lord was pleased that Solomon has asked for wisdom. So God replied, because you have asked for wisdom in governing my people with justice, and have not asked for a long life for yourself or wealth or the death of your enemy, I will give you what you ask. I will give you wise and understanding heart, so that no one else had to ever have. And I will also give you what you did not ask for, riches and fame. No other king in all the world will be compared to you for the rest of your life. And I will follow, and if you will follow me and obey my decree, in my commandment, as your father David, I will give you long life. You see, folks, we want to say thank God for the honorable man. When I saw it, I didn't even know that he was elected as a senator. But when I saw his name, I was glad, because he came here before when he was working with the government. And we want to commit this occasion in God's hand. But there are some things we have read about that I want to bring to our mind as Liberians. The Bible says when Solomon was selected to lead Israel, God appeared to him in his dream. God asked him, what do you want? And he told God, the people I'm going to govern, they are very difficult to deal with. Give me an understanding heart. Give me wisdom so that I can rule with justice. And God said, your speech pleased me, therefore I will give you wisdom to lead the people with justice. At the same time, I will give you what you were not asking for. I will give you fame, I will give you riches, and I will give you long life. And I believe this set precedent for all those who want to be leaders among us, that we must prioritize the heart of God for the people. Let us pray. Our Father, we thank you so much for the safe arrival of our beloved brother, Amara Konneh, and we thank you for those who have put this occasion together. Our discussion here today is about Liberia and its people. We pray, dear Lord, that you will order our steps, you will govern us here from this very beginning. We pray that you will take over every items here, so that it will be done peacefully. Commit everyone here into your hands, and we pray for safety of all in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. And now, because you cannot do anything in the Midwest without the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota. We will now call upon the Executive Director of the OLM, Mr. Kamati Dian, for a welcome remark.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. The Honorable Senator-elect, Amara Konneh, the Honorable Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota, here, all protocol observed. For us in Minnesota, we are the bigger and biggest impactful diaspora community. Do you share that with me? We are the powerhouse. See, we are distinct in what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. So, for us in Minnesota, we hold our people to their feet. I want to welcome the Honorable Senator-elect to the city of 10,000 Lake, the home of the brave, the home of the former mayor of Brooklyn Center, Mark Elliott. Huh? Yeah. You hear me? Yeah. This is the home of where every government in Liberia has a reservoir of brain trust to shape the political, social dynamics of our country. This is the place that is the beacon of the entire Midwest and the Liberian community in the diaspora. We are the powerhouse. We are the people in this community that do our things differently. So on behalf of the people of Minnesota, we want to say welcome. We want to say fasten your belt. And we know that when we looked at you and then asked you, you will give it. But thank you very much. The transition in Liberia, Minnesota played its role and was very impactful. Thank you and welcome you all today.
When you give an EG the mic, you can fire up the crowd. Just one quick housekeeping announcement. If you need to use the restroom, I found that out too. You go outside, you go down, and you follow the staircase. There are arrows pointing you to the restroom. Also, this program is being carried live by KMTV. We see a lot of you going live. I think one of the best things you could do if you just share KMTV live, then you don't have to be on your camera. That way you can participate fully in the program, so your friends who follow you can just share that. I must say, you folks, you see the people there, I just did a recommendation. I already make you plan with me. I just simple recommendation. Okay. It's all right, and so it was just to let you know that we have a reputable organization carrying the program, streaming the program, and so now we will call on one of our own strong brothers. I haven't seen him in a long time, but folks, please welcome Mr. Michael Tipperson, who is going to do the introduction of our guest today. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. The chairperson and members of the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota, stakeholders and representatives of different social, political, religious, and tribal groups here present, former youth and student leaders, distinguished men and women. My name is Michael Tipperson, and it is an honor for me to introduce an internationally recognized statesman who's masterful in data analysis and financial projections. Our guest lecturer, Mr. Amara Konneh, was born in Basel near Wiesa, Gbarpolu County, on December 7, 1971. I'm pleased to mention that Mr. Konneh is the fourth of 6 children who had a rough beginning as a child. Imagine being born on the floor of his mother's kitchen, did not start school until he was 10, and when he turned 17 years old, several members of his family, his immediate family, including his father and 3 siblings, were killed during Liberia's protracted civil conflict. This devastating situation eventually led Mr. Konneh becoming a refugee in Guinea. But as a passionate person desiring to make a difference in society, our keynote speaker, Mr. Amara Konneh, established a school for Liberian refugees while he was in Guinea. His volunteerism in leadership led him to a position with the International Rescue Committee as a refugee education coordinator for Bela, a town and urban sub-prefecture located in southeastern Guinea, where he subsequently led the construction, staffing, and the supervision of 18 refugee schools for Liberian children before he migrated to the United States of America to put himself through college. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amara Konneh is highly accomplished senior leader and international development finance expert with more than 20 years of progressive experience delivering strategic guidance and leadership to build national and regional capacities and enhance economic opportunities throughout Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Earlier in his professional career, Mr. Konneh worked for the Vanguard Group of investment companies, a Fortune 500 company in Townhall, Pennsylvania from 1998 to 2006, where his dedication and attention to details on the job led him to the position as a project manager. He has directed multicultural teams, building and fostering an environment of inclusion, productivity, and business innovation. Our guest lecturer has served the Liberian government, the international development organizations, academia, Africa regional institutions to engage partners promoting cooperation, coordinating policy that advance sustainable development. Mr. Amara Konneh served the Liberian government as Minister of Finance and Development Planning and National Coordinator of Liberia's Development Alliance, an implementation and dialogue forum for key stakeholders including the government of Liberia, development partners, private sector organizations, civil society groups to ensure the successful implementation of Liberia's development agenda from February 2012 to April 2016. As Minister of Finance and Development Planning, he was a core member of President Ellen Johnson's economic management team, and he was credited with high standards for helping to stabilize the Liberian economy from the defects of the prolonged civil war and the Ebola virus disease that almost brought the Liberian economy to its knees. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, our keynote speaker, guest lecturer, maintained macroeconomic stability, leading to low inflation, stable exchange rate, timely payment of civil servant salary, robustly financing the fight against Ebola, which led to the World Health Organization declaring Liberia as Ebola-free in a record time, and leading efforts that rebuild Liberia's economic infrastructure to pre-war levels. After the Ebola crisis inflicted havoc on the Liberian economy in 2014, Mr. Amara Konneh also championed reforms, such as the establishment of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and the Liberia Revenue Authority to enhance economic and fiscal policy making and boost domestic revenue mobilization. Mr. Konneh then simplified, the understanding of our national budget by introducing, as we all are aware, the Open Budget Initiative and Citizen Guide to the Budget that educated Liberians across the country about the budget. Mr. Konneh submitted timely fiscal returns to the legislature, and that record was homage. The mobilization of $240 million in international aid for the Ebola disaster response effort and fiscal incentives to maintain macroeconomic stability. His radical stand on keeping expenditure under control to adjust the projected budget deficit of $80 million in 2016 because of the crisis led to the Liberian Senate censuring Mr. Konneh for prison, a decision that was overturned by the Liberian Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amara Konneh was audited, and we want to be on record for saying this. He was audited by the General Auditing Commission, the GSC, for his years of services in the Liberian government from 2018 to 2016. As Minister of Planning and Economic Affairs, he successfully coordinated the prosperous implementation of Live Liberia Poverty Reduction Strategy, the administration post-3-year plan of Ellen Johnson, which started 2008 up to 2011. Mr. Amara Konneh has had and has provided leadership for several continental, regional, and sub-regional organizations in Africa. He served as chairperson of Africa Group 1, constituency of the IMF. Previously, he served as chairperson of Mount River Union Ministerial Council and the African Peer Review Mechanism Ministerial Council. He was the coordinator of all the Economic Community of West African State activities in Liberia. Our former finance minister and guest lecturer, Mr. Amara Konneh, also served as regional integration and partnership senior advisor to World Bank Africa Regional Vice Presidency. Wow. Tell me, the portfolio of the guest lecturer is getting the training here, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Managing strategic partnership with the African Union and its Economic Commission. Providing expertise and technical assistance to advance regional economic integration between countries and the wider African economic community. He coordinated the development of $2 billion portfolio in resources to regional economic commission and partnership dialogues to strengthen engagements. Before this, Mr. Konneh served as the head of the World Bank Global Hub for Fragility, Conflict, Violence, and Forced Displacement, serving more than 35 countries in Nairobi, Kenya, where he joined the World Bank Group in May 2016. Nearly a decade of service with the government of Liberia, and as head of the hub, Mr. Konneh successfully implemented the following 3 priorities. 1, the World Bank strategic priorities in countries affected by fragility, conflict, violence, and forced displacement, refugees. Mr. Konneh, 2, also, the second one was the Nairobi-based team. He led the Nairobi-based team, provided operational and analytical support on fragility, conflict, violence, and refugee issues to the bank's regional and country team. And the third most key item that he led was the leadership with the Kenyan government and the community of donors in Kenya on behalf of the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen, our big man in the house has received several accolades throughout his long walk to professionalism. Just to name few, he is the recipient of the prestigious Harvard University Kennedy School of Government Award in 2016. Mr. Konneh received the Alumni Public Service Award that recognizes an alumni who has significantly improved the human condition of local, national, and international level. He is also the recipient of said award and must, I reiterate, and must have a sustainable difference in the lives of people, organizations, and government throughout an influential act or series of steps produce positive change in society, which Mr. Konneh has done over the years. Mr. Konneh was named Africa's Finance Minister of the Year in 2014 by the Banker magazine, a subsidiary of the Financial Times, for his effort to reform, stabilize, and grow the Liberian economy. This award celebrates an official or individual who has best managed the stimulation of growth and stability in their country's economy. Finally, and in summation, I'm super excited to welcome the great Amara Konneh, who holds a master's degree from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He has MPA from John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. He has another master's from the University of Pennsylvania, a master's degree from Pennsylvania State University, and a bachelor's degree from Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our leader, Mr. Amara Konneh, is a father figure in society with good human deportment. We call him the International Lionel Messi and the Darling Boy of the Rescue Mission. He was elected Senator of Gbarpolu County. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to offer you and present Mr. Amara Konneh, Senator-elect of Gbarpolu County.
Thank you very much. Please sit down. Thank you. Oh boy. I didn't know that my bio was this long. But Leo Messi, huh? Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you to the OLM. I just concluded a very good meeting with the leadership, Mr. Chair of the board, and the leadership. Thank you for your progressive leadership in the diaspora community. I want to thank our community for your patriotism, your commitment to our country, all of the contributions you've made to keep Liberia going. I love Minnesota.
And Minnesota loves you back.
I've been here a couple of times. I think I came here the first time in this edifice when I was Minister of Planning. We took our, I had just been recruited by President Johnson straight out of Harvard. Is Scott here? I want to recognize Scott. Scott, please stand up. That's my classmate. We graduated together from Harvard. Scott is now a professor here, a strong, progressive, democratic advocate. So I'm just happy to see somebody I shared classroom with to be among us. You heard I told him I was coming, so he showed up. Thank you, Scott. I see a lot of familiar faces here. I won't be able to call all of you, but I hope to hang out with you after this program. I got a lot of friends in Minnesota, in different political parties. So my CDC friend, please don't get vexed with me. You know, Minnesota, I love Minnesota for many reasons, I gotta tell you. The first time I came here was okay, we came in this hall, it was a time that most people saw me for the first time. I presented our case to them, and then we went to work. We did our best for our country, but the challenges Liberia faces are many, and most people don't understand them. And our governments don't do well in educating the public about the many challenges we face over there. The second time I came here, I faced protest. Serious protest. It started at the airport, no seriously, with the, how you call them, the CBP or something like that? The custom people, how do we call them? CBP. Yeah, so I got out of the plane. No, this is custom. I got out of the plane with my small team, the media guys, some of the guys who were traveling with me. Next thing you know, you step aside, we need to check this, we need to check that. So I'm like, what's going on? No, we need to check. So they brought the dogs sniffing, and it's strange. I lived in America since 1993, August 15, I landed on these shores as a refugee. So I've been going back and forth, no problem. But next thing you know, I am just under all this scrutiny. So I demanded to know And they told me that the Liberian community here told them that I was bringing in millions of dollars. I was bringing in money intended for hospitals. I stole in the money, and they showed these people pictures of starving Somali kids and Ethiopians, that they were Liberians. You know, this is in my book coming out. It was the most bullying I have ever received in public service. In the end, they found nothing. And I came outside, and I saw the people who approached, who told these people all of it. Oh, it was a mess. They said I stole the $30 million. I'd gone to Brussels, put $30 million in my suitcase, flew to Liberia with it, and it was intended for hospitals, and I took it all by myself. Let me tell you something. I'm Minister of Finance. I've never seen $1 million from my eyes. You see checks, unless you go to the central bank and take the cash from there, which never happened on a mail tunes. So I come here today to talk to you about our country. We're going through transition. It is a peaceful transition. I bring you greetings from the President-elect, Joseph Boakai. He's on his way tonight back to Liberia after a successful week in Washington. Our visit to Washington was a resounding success. I think we've laid the foundation for the renewal of our strong bilateral engagement with the U.S. government, as well as the multilateral institutions. The devil is going to be the government he forms and how we commercialize the goodwill that he got this week from Washington, D.C. To benefit the Liberian people. Our election is special, and I hope to see a lot of Liberians talking about it versus the negative stuff that we are all used to now, negative news. But our election is perhaps the most positive narrative about democracy coming out of West Africa in the last few years. Sierra Leone, you know the story. Because of what happened there, allegations of stealing the votes and fast-tracking the inauguration of the president, officials were sanctioned by the United States government. And then in Guinea, we know what happened there. The president changed the constitution to extend his mandate, and it was a military coup d'etat. In Mali, because of allegedly the inability of the democratically elected government to control the insurgency from the north, they overthrew the government. Now you have a military regime. And then further down beneath Mali, in Burkina, same story. In Côte d'Ivoire, we know that the president had served 2 terms. He had wished to get a successor, but each person he pointed to died. And so since the Constitution gave him the flexibility to run again, he ran. In Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, officials were sanctioned because of what happened there. So with the exception of Ghana, it's us. Niger, we know what's happening there. So, this is no small feat, and all of you here are part of that. So we should celebrate it. It's a success story for a country in the sea of dangers, and we were able to embrace democracy as imperfect as it may be, as fragile as it may be in the end. Your participation from afar on social media, pushing here, pushing there, calling out officials, and the commitment of the Liberian people to peaceful elections, protecting the votes, etc., were able to get this. And I want to use this opportunity to thank President Weah for, I think this is going to be part of his legacy. I told people 6 years ago when President Seti, whom I served, left office, and everybody was saying, oh, the money came, they did nothing, blah, blah. But nobody maybe remembered the baseline. But I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about is that in nation building, there's hardware and there's software. I did my first degree, they called me IT technician. I didn't go to certificate school. I went to one of the best universities in engineering, Drexel University. My first degree is in systems engineering, not IT certificate. But my opponent called me IT specialist. So I'm an engineer by training, first training, so I fix systems. So there's hardware and there's software. The hardware in development are the roads, the electricity, the hard things you see. The software are the institutions, NEC, PPCC, LACC, GSC, all those institutions that you don't feel and touch, but whose work is strengthening the foundation of the nation and the cradle of the democracy. So any president who invests in that politicians want to see visible things because people see them. So the fact that she was able to walk away in 2017 now raises the bar. No president can now stay in power when you get defeated. You have to go. So if anything, that was Ellen's biggest legacy. But it's not relevant because you don't touch it, you don't feel it. So President Weah has added to that. And we should say it, even though we opposed him. This is a good thing. And I wish him and his family well in their retirement. So the other thing I came to talk to you about is that President Bouakai is inheriting a somewhat difficult situation. Not as difficult as the situation President Weah inherited, and maybe the situation that him and President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf inherited in 2006. And this is where I talk about baseline issue. I mean, think about a country. Just think, come with me, travel with me. Let's go back to the year that I was born. You heard my bio, 1971. President Townhall died that year, right? Up to his death, that was the longest sustained economic growth in our country. That's why those who were in their era said Townhall time was the best time because of the investments that came into the country, the liberalization of the state in the midst of African nation trying to get from the shackles of colonialism. Liberia became the safe haven for many liberation struggle fighters on the continent. So it was a destination. There was a hub there for Ghana, where you come, you fly straight from New York there, 8 hours, and from there you go to South Africa, you go to the other places, so it was a hot spot. Ducal Hotel was something, and Hotel Africa, Relga Cinema, Beverly, all those places were there. So that's why people say Townhall time was a good time, but it was the era of enlightenment. Now, he died the year I was born, right? And President Togo, his last president, who had been waiting in shadow for 22 years, took over. Immediately, the prices of our primary commodities, iron ore, rubber, started to decline. I'm a talking, right? And then what happened? Globally, the fuel prices started to go up. There was, the whole OPEC thing, they're trying to set the price, and prices of the fuel started to go up. While he's dealing with that, the young, fresh PhDs in the late Dr. Sawyer, Thibault, HB, Patrick Sayer, the radicals, the progressives, They come to the country to say, no, there has to be a change because there was a hegemony running the country, and we have to break that. And so all this pressure was on this president. So he served from 1971 to 1980 as president, and the economy started to go into episodes. And all of this, you can Google it on Liberia. You see that the Liberian economy has never been like this, like this, like this. It has been like this. Volatilities. So, his brother Steve Toba came in, he pushed it up, he died, and James, I call him, the guy who was at Phillips comes in and he's good at that. The OU came in, then the university was, the new ideology about multi-party democracy, Bacchus Matthew, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole story. In the end, we killed the president in front of his wife and grandchildren in the executive mansion. And then we said that we needed to eliminate the entire cabinet. We turned their children, we broke down family structures. And that's what we should be doing. So we broke down whole family structure. Why? Because we said they would never come back to power. Unlike South Africa, where the white people basically denied the black people. When things change, they never persecuted them. They never told them, pack your things and go to work. A requisition or something, and the vice head of state chaired that we're saying, when they say, oh, this is wrong, let's give it back to the people after you finish destroying them. So, 10 years, President Doe was in office, zero growth. You add that to 8 years, 18 years of volatilities. Are you with me? Yeah. What the hell? The university. Dissent to decrease voice and accountability. Nowhere. You can't even talk about auditing. When the Americans went to audit the finance ministry, what happened? There was fire. Next thing you know, they expelled them. Then when we printed 2 points, then we started a campaign. We said we'll pay the American people there. After we failed to generate, then the country started to go in becoming a pariah. This is our story, guys. Then people started to self-contract. When rule of law fails because of lousy leadership, citizens self-contract. The mob beating of that woman in Pinsdale, the killing of the auditors, no justice. But yesterday we got justice for one of the murders at the Justice Scott's house. But anytime somebody does stuff, police will be there, they will beat the person almost to death. Guys, this is not a credible state. People are self-contracting because of government ineffectiveness. Increase, well, the Civil War came along, and it was a very popular uprising. That war went on from 1990 to 1997, right? People had an election, 1998 or something? 7. That's 7 years. Add that to 18 years. 25 years left? Am I right? What is 25 years? It's a generation. Let me tell you about the rule of 25 in growth economics. The rule of 25 says you are born and your parents take care of you all the way to college and give you maybe 2 additional years or 3 to live with them until you can go out. And then when you turn 25, it's an unspoken rule, guys. You don't expect to be 25 and be living with your parents, except in Africa, where we don't want to leave our pa. We're just there. You know? So by 25 years old, you are expected to be independent, you are college educated, you find a job, and above all, it is at that age that you are expected to have your first child, to prepare the next, succeeding generation. So that when you turn 50, at 25, you got grandchildren. Then your worry now is not about your children, it's about your grandchildren. This is what happens in the OECD countries. So for 25 years, we cannot argue that for our country. So there's generational loss. Then the election comes along. Chancellor gets to be elected. 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. 6 years, zero growth. I challenge anybody to point out one infrastructure that Mr. Taylor left in Liberia. Nothing. The central bank became in his home. APRC then, you know what I'm talking here. The state collapsed. Negative 90% in collapse in the GDP. All the goods and services produced in the country collapsed by negative 90%, the largest collapse in the history of development economics. Add that to the 25 years. 31, 32? 31 years. You're going to 2 generations now. Until 2005, we started this process of electing a new leader to beginning to address all these 31 years of nothing happening. 31 years, folks. I came here today for us to reflect. What kind of country do we want? All the noise. Do we want a credible state, or do we want a theoretical state? Because theoretical state is what we have now. On paper, you got your independence, but really you're not really independent. Why? Because you can't protect your people from themselves. Everywhere you go in Liberia today, there's a complete absence of governance. No police. The safety of the people is in the hands of what they call now community watch forum. Let me ask you, the lawyers in the house, is that constitutional? Can they really arrest people if they knew the Constitution, if they knew their rights?
can they allow them to arrest them if they broke the law?
It's not law. It's not law.
Good. So you cannot. So if a guy over there says, no, I just killed that person, yeah, but you can't arrest me. You can't arrest him. That's the state we have. I just came from a very brutal campaign. The police stations are there, but nobody is there. Then you have these community forum guys with t-shirts on. They don't even have handcuffs. Then when you ask them, do you know the Constitution? Do you have a copy of the Constitution? So you know the rest of these people. They say no. But I can't say anything because, you know, I'm getting their vote to fix it. But we have to fix it. And you will hear about it. We cannot allow our country to just run like that, where there's no police presence anywhere. Then you move from the executive side of things, you go to the judiciary side of things, and you can't, nothing. You see, that's the reason why the people are resorting to mob justice. Because our institutions are supposed to adjudicate grievances that don't exist, or they are corrupt. They gave justice to the biggest bidder. That's a theoretical state. And then I come to the healthcare sector. So after this 2006 thing, and all these NGOs were in the country, and our government, and so on and so forth, you go to places, you see the nicely designed blue and white building, but the grass is all over, all around, because nobody's there. That's supposed to be the clinic. That functioned years ago, but it's been neglected. In some places, you enter there, the solar panel that were installed on the roof, and the freezer to freeze the vaccines that used to go there are still operating, but nothing is in it. That's the state of your country I came to tell you about. So when I say manage expectations, I'm not trying to be provocative, I'm trying to be honest with you. It's not going to be easy. Then you leave from there, you say, well, you know, maybe I will see some relief in the education sector. And then you go there, you see that the schools have not been painted, or the ceilings are all gone, and no benches. And in some places, there are no teachers. In other places, teachers were retired but not replaced. So therefore, the few high school graduates in the town and the few people that went to school before, because they don't want their children to just waste, they volunteer to teach. So therefore, our education system is littered with volunteer teachers. Now these volunteer teachers are giving up their agricultural activities to support their family. Their hunting activities. Whatever they do to feed their family, they give it up. To keep these kids under that roof. And the burden of doing that is transferred to the parents when we have a law that says compulsory primary education, or policy and law. So you exacerbate the poverty. And the future is not being prepared because these kids are not getting education from trained teachers. At the same time, we have 73 districts. Electoral district, but we have 152 or so administrative districts. Each of them has a district education officer. The government cannot afford $800 motorbike for these DEOs to go around and do in-service training to these volunteer teachers so they can become semi-professional and teach the curriculum to prepare the future. This is the state of the country that they don't want to tell you about. I came to tell you the truth tonight. So, what do we want? A theoretical or a credible state? I think credible state is what we want. But to build a credible state is not going to be easy. Our population now is 5.3. When we were 3.2, 14 years ago, and we had just come out of the war. So the last time we did a population census before the war was 1984, before the elections. It was 2.2 million, I think. So in 2008, when I was Minister of Planning, we did the first census since 1984. Right? Population was 3.2. So what that tells you is that even during the war, we were born in plenty. So our population grew. So because the population grew and nearly doubled, every intervention was not enough. Now the population has gone to 5.3. The challenge is even more. You need bold, visionary, pushy. So long you don't break the law, so long you don't circumvent policy, you need to be running guys. They take it easy business, got to stop. You gotta show up for work. You gotta wake up in the morning and beat traffic to show up there on time and deliver. This culture of, oh, I'm gonna take it easy, you know, my man, look, the place here, you know, you coming from America, that America here. Yeah. They force you to conform. And when you conform, you become part of the rotten system. And you still jump over the same poo water that you jumped over when you were a kid. Monrovia is the dirtiest city in Africa. Then everybody get typhoid and malaria. Meanwhile, the USAID spend millions of dollars to get malaria medicine, and the hospital in Magibi, the people there, the health ministry will steal the medicine and they put it in their private clinic. What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? Our embassy staff are being thrown out of their apartments. In major cities, New York, Washington, D.C., they're driving Ubers. No vehicle for the embassies. I came to tell you the hard truth. And that's going to be what I will do for the next 9 years until we get this right. So one mistake I made was that I didn't tell my story when I was minister. So most Liberians just know the European Union 30-year story, and they believe it. But they didn't know that I was the one who rebuilt the hydro. They don't know that I was the one who rebuilt the transmission and distribution lines across Liberia today. They don't know that I'm the one who gave Liberia a brand new ROI. I raised the money. They don't know that I'm the one who built the highways in Liberia's primary growth corridors. Monrovia to Kanta, Monrovia to Buchanan. They don't know that I'm the one who mobilized the money for phase 1 of the Banga to Vonjama highway. They don't know that I'm the one through a regional scheme raised the money to start the road from Harbour to Fishtown to connect. They don't know that I'm the one who put down the first $10 million for the road from Kanta to Yekipa and asked the power of the road to be in Russia. They don't know that. They don't know that I'm the one who led my team to design the West African Power Pool Transcoast CLSG program that will bring extra electricity from Cote d'Ivoire into Liberia, into Guinea, and into Sierra Leone. Most people don't know that. I didn't tell my story. And the media people I had didn't tell it better either. So everybody just associated me with lies. So this is my time to tell my story. This is my time to tell my story. So I beg you get used to it.
I'm a very quiet man. I'm not confrontational. I'm diplomatic. I don't show off with my education and accomplishments. I'm humble, but I'm not weak. I drink my soup when it's cold. So I came to talk to you about our country. The next 6 years is not going to be as easy. And the true hallmark of leadership is to set the right expectation. For example, civil servants didn't get paid for Christmas. We don't know yet the status of the consolidated account. Whether President Barker will be able to be paid in the first month in his office. Revenue is underperforming. It's not generating enough money to service the $25–26 million per month. So what's that pay? We're struggling to service our debts, both domestically and externally. When the government cannot raise enough money to pay households, and households don't have the money to spend on businesses, government does not collect taxes. That's the circular flow of the economy. When you are inefficient here, the whole system chokes. I hope that our new president put together a strong economic team to lubricate this thing quickly to start moving. That's all we need. So I hope we'll be patient. The whole idea of election is to elect new leadership to move the country forward, but that window is short. The window of patience is around 90 days, 3 months. If you don't move things quickly, if you don't clean the city, if you don't keep the lights on, if you don't pay that $9 million that we owe Ivory Coast for the extra light that are coming, and this is dry season, Simple River water table will go down, Mankavi will under-generate electricity, right? Then people say, oh, look at the public in the power, you can't put the light on. When you add the management inefficiencies at LAC, then right away say, okay, we wish we had left the people there. This is the conundrum. And that is why we came to Washington. We don't have the money in the country. But those who see this Washington trip as a pedestrian walkabout business, I'm sorry. We came to work and we opened all the doors even before he became president. And I can tell you in a strong term, in that television, the goodwill was very strong. The challenge now is for the president-elect to form his team to follow up. We are going to the Senate. We will go there to be the anchor for good governance, for the rule of law, but most especially for transparency through the open government initiative. We have to open up our government. I know I'm one of 30. That may be my desire, my wish. I have to convince the other people to accept it.
Thank you. You got Darrell Dillon, Senator.
Yes, I know I can count on my brother Dillon, but we need more people. No, we got Yeke, and I love him, but he's one of 73 people. We need more people. One person, no, she's going to be our next pro tem. I'm sure she's going to be a reformer. We will be there. I had a good conversation with her, and I put her through an interview, and she convinced me that she will be a good senator. I mean, pro tem. So, but we need more. we need to form a progressive caucus across party lines to fix some of these problems. Let me tell you, all the political parties in Liberia got the same platform. The disagreement we have in our political contestation is not based on ideology.
Yeah. That's a fact.
It's not because everybody wants a job.
Yeah.
So you go where you can find a job easier. That is why I am a lifelong independent. And I will carry my independent voice into the Senate. We'll build a caucus. And we'll mobilize the resources to make sure that all the important committees are enabled to keep the executive in check. But there's one more branch of government that we'll always forget about. The judiciary. Nobody talks about the judiciary because nobody wants to be held in contempt. Nobody wants to go to jail. But in this great country we are living in, you know what happened here. You know what it did to get this great United States that we all come to. People died to get rid of tyranny. And so I'm not saying we should die in our country, but I'm saying we should stand up for something. The whole country can be compromised. You can't live your life where when each government comes, you make noise for a few years, and then later on they give you money, you become quiet. You can't build a country like that. You gotta be consistent. So we got a lot of work to do. I want to talk to you now about the three groups of Liberians that I believe exist today. Before it was two. The American Liberians and the country people. And so, up to 1990, it was the American Liberians and the Congo people. Little woman born soya cake, turbo. Then the native people ran the country down for 10 years. Then after the war, there was a lot of the country people that went and joined the Masonic craft to try to become the Congo people. Right? And then they forgot about the real Liberia. There are three Liberias in my book. You have the real Liberia, the Liberia that existed before the so-called Congo people came, before the settlers came to try to modernize the state, to declare independence so that you can have your territorial boundaries and then you can make your own decision. That's what independence is talking about. But there was a Liberia that existed before there. There was the poor, there was the sandy, there was our way of educating our children. That's the real Liberia. Whether you subscribe to it or not, that's the real Liberia. Today it exists in Bong, in Nimba, or across the country. People have remained in their villages and still doing farming. Every morning they walk. When they do farm here, they don't do the farm the same place every year. They go somewhere else. They move around the forest. What is stopping us from doing the farming the way it's done in Minnesota, where you do it in the same place over and over? That technology is there. And this is the roles you can begin to play as a diaspora. I want coming to that. We got to shift the strategic focus of the way we engage the diaspora. The real Liberia is one group. These are the people who struggle and raise their children in the forest like my father did to me in Balakiam near Wiswa, my siblings who were there. Our only connection to the world was a Cessna airplane owned by an espionage named Mr. Kwenga, who established the Wiswa Air. As kids, we would stand in the middle of the runway that our parents built with their hand and would wave the white flag for Mr. Kwenga to land his plane. Yes, I enjoy that. Every time the plane landed, we saw something new. When the plane left, we were up to the darkness until the moon comes out, and then we'll do our ooh-wee and all that stuff, you know. So that's the real Liberia, still there. And they fight, they send their children to school. All they want is for their government to just take care of the teachers, give the supplies to them, so their children can join the second class I call the educated or smart Liberian class. Us here in this room. All of us here are in that category. The problem is we bring each other down. The smart Liberian class unreasonably disagree. So as a result, the third group, which is the volatile Liberian group, those who don't fit, they run away from the rural Liberia for greener pasture. They don't want to do the farm that their parents made. They want quick money. So the Liberian dream for them is the $800 motorbike. That's the dream for the young people of Liberia today. Here they say house, car, education, all that stuff. There is a motorbike. Get my water, please. The third group I call volatile group. They have no skills, but they admire the smart Liberian class. They want to be like us because we have cars. We have cars because we're educated. Whether we are delivering or not, they don't care about that. They call us honorable men. They don't call us by our names. And we think it's okay that we keep them there. They call us ministers. They're the ones we pay to sing in a house song. To get chance. Amanda, I went to. Right? I want you to see with me. So that volatile Liberian class is the largest share of our population. So because the real Liberian class is not educated in the Western sense of the word, they hold on to their traditional values, they form their own leadership there, they only care about what happens in their communities there. They don't want to take part in national life because they don't know both, quote unquote, to be able to compete there. So they leave it with us. But there are children who try to come into our class but don't make it and bypass our class and go to the volatile class are the ones who follow their current grace of the world. No pun intended. Because these guys project themselves as coming from the slum community, and therefore they can deliver their slum community brothers. And so the volatile class gravitate to them while the Liberian class is fighting each other. No compromise. We can see the good in each other's argument. As a result, in the legislature, you don't have competent people. We, in the Liberian smart class, don't want to go in the mud to campaign, to go in the legislature and take that thing and try to reform it. We don't want to do that. But we want to be ministers and stuff. Let me tell you, when I joined Ellen, I woke up, I was at Vanguard Group, you heard my story. I got recruited straight out of college in junior class. And they call all the Smart Leaders program. Spend good years there, make some money, build my house. So I'm okay. I started born children, my twins, my daughter, and all of that. One morning I got up. I don't sleep much, those who know me. But because I grew up with my grandmother and she used to wake up in the night to pray every night, so I do the same thing now. For a long time since I was a refugee, I do the nightly prayer. When I pray, I say Fajr, and I do this inspirational thing. Because our country is not inspired. We have never had an inspirational leader to move that needle, to get the country to wake up out of this slump.
I said, we can't live like this. It's unacceptable to sit down near Dompa and be roasting corn, and you can't go buy that, you expect to be healthy. It is. There's something wrong with that. Our leadership should not be about red carpet. The Liberian presidency is a project management job. So I got more money. I sat in the bed, nothing. I just said, you know what? They killed my father, they killed my brothers, all my uncles, my whole village there was a massacre there, 80 people. They just killed them one evening. And you know, look at what God has done for me. I need to go back to see what happened. But to go back, it has to be safe. So I'm getting involved. I'm getting involved. I met with Madame Salih. She put me through this long interview. And once she was convinced, she said, let's do it. I raised my own resources, mobilized Liberia for a year. I never came to Minnesota, but all on the East Coast, South, I went. I went to Liberia, I did the first poll. I sat down in her meeting and I saw all these people lying to her. One of them even said she would win Grand there. When they left, I had just gotten off of SM Brussels. And I said, do you believe them? She lied. She said, they're the one I got. So I would do that. I had raised $300,000 through donations here. So I said, just give me 60. I'll do the rest of your thing. I'm going to hire some young people from the university. We're going to create a fictitious organization. I'm going to train them for 3 weeks. I'm going to rent cars. I'm going to deploy them. We're going to do a polling to see if the people really, what they're telling you is true. That was the introduction of polling into the Liberian electoral process. And it came back. Dr. Sawyer, there's a picture, maybe I will post it one day. We're sitting, me, saying, Ellie, Dr. Sawyer, we're looking at the number before we went to the meeting. And Dr. Sawyer looked at me and said, this is unbelievable. Ellie, where you got this young man from? She said, it's your godsend. That's what he said. And so we did the election, we changed the dress code, we did all of that. She went in the second round. What the main party was, wasting time. We started building coalition with the senators who got elected. She won. The point I'm trying to make is that you have to go into battle with conviction. You can't go there by being compromised here. Oh, I got friends here, give me small thing, all that. But man, you go out there, you be sharing information. No. You walk with your legs spread, or you're chasing many rabbits, you don't catch any rabbit. You have to focus. So I said, I'm going home. I went home. I contributed. After the election, I did not get a ticket to the inauguration. Yes. My wife and I went to Liberia to go down and say, we'll not do big thing. I didn't get a ticket. It was Chris Massacre who put me in a security car and smuggled me in so that I'm not shamed in front of my wife. We sat all the way to the back, but we were there. So I like to exercise. Every morning I'll go run, my phone rang. Where are you? I said, who is this? I said, Omar. Omar. They just called me Omar. I said, Madam President? He said, yeah. He said, why are you not in the office? So my office in the mansion. I said, no, I have a job in America. He said, no, you need to be here. Your office is here. I said, no, I came for the inauguration. I didn't even tell her that I didn't have ticket because she didn't know. He said, but then in that case, we got to meet. You got to bear with me, guys. Because you need to know that I am not who they portray me to be. So I met with her, me and my wife, and she offered me to be Minister of Information. Minister of Information? I said, yes, I'm not the work you did. We need you, your analytical skills. I said, but it's in my president. I said, I can't be minister. He said, well, I said, I'm not qualified to be minister. I left from here when I was 17 years old. I don't know the country. I just came, I did this thing that nobody was doing, and I got lucky, and the work that does not qualify me to be minister. Look, a good thing about it. The next morning, her brother, Connie Johnson, and the late cousin, A.B. Johnson,
knock at our door and say we came to talk to you. Mistake number one, don't say no to president. Okay, you're sorry, I don't know. Say you gotta take this job. I said, no, I can't take this job. I'll fail. I don't know the country. I just been here for a few months. I beg you to find somebody. I just went to Johnny McLean. I went back to my wife. I still didn't give up. I had applied to Harvard. I got admitted. I wanted to go there. They said I should come back, or else people would say that she's ungrateful to me. And so I went back. I went back. And I said, just put me in a position that does not require confirmation. I'll help to design systems. And that's how we introduced this direct payroll thing, etc. And then the famous e-marshal website, that was the easy cake. We did that today, it's there. It's still there, that's my legacy, so it's there. And then they just went from there because I went in with all my heart for the country. And after Harvard, I got a job with USAID to go to Kenya. I'm lucky with the Eastern African countries. With the USAID, I think that's the deputy country manager because of the work I did in Liberia. I went to the president, she came to do the commencement speech. I said, I got a job with USAID. And well, you gotta keep your story with yourself, man. Keep your secret. She said, oh, congratulations. I'm proud of you. So, yes. The next day, in her speech, she said, I'm taking Amara home. That's how I became a minister, guys. So I went to planning, and then finance, and that's it. So these three Liberian groups are there. And if we, the educated class, don't find a way to meet in the middle, we are causing the real Liberian class to languish because they don't have the young people anymore in the villages to take care of them, and they are aging. Then the volatile class is growing, it's getting plenty. In the end, one day, we may have somebody who does not even have 6th grade education. It's time to think about this. Which brings me to the diaspora. I don't think we have utilized the potential of the diaspora to the fullest as a country. And I haven't researched this, but there are several reasons for that. Maybe our government just think that you are here working and just taking care of your relatives through remittances. But you notice that the remittances went up over the last few years. It had started declining, then it went up. That means you're sending more money than before. Is that what you want when you have your own 25-year generational challenge here? You want to educate your children so they can become better than you here, just like the other immigrants before us did. But you can send some of that money home. Is that the only utility you have here for the country? No. Why is going to disappear? So OLM, perhaps the most progressive diaspora organization in You have to be the leader in this. You have to be a leader in this. Can we partner on the entire development spectrum? Private sector, the software. This is where your strength is because you live in a system where all these things are working. How do we replicate them over there? People will fight you. Are you afraid of that? To ruffle the feathers and try to get the public good to the public? You want to play say, you go there, you go on radio, you talk plenty, something, and I say your contribution. It's part of it, don't get me wrong. But that's not all to it. We have to develop a new strategic engagement with our country. Because 6 years ago, it was morning in Liberia, in Ronald Reagan's voice. Today, day has broken again in Liberia. The roosters are crowing. Who's going to feed them? Just the government or everybody? Because the rooster belongs to everybody. So what can you do? Can we partner on the law that basically relaxes all the rules? I mean, all or give the diaspora people special incentives for a few years with tax exemptions to come and set up shops in Liberia. What can the diaspora do to leverage the presence of a paved highway from Monrovia to BWR? You don't have to be an alumnus from there. BWR is an institution for skill building. But the BWR that was built 50, 70 years ago is the same BWR we have today. Accounting, agriculture with cows and stuff is good. But what are we doing to leap into the 21st century? You got the paved road. You have the electricity there. Deliberately, I don't want to use I, but I was Minister of Finance. I insisted that we can't just put the highway. We have to put electricity there. We have to put 3G network there. We brought the fast internet into Liberia. It landed behind BTC, where they killed the ministers. There where the cable is. To BTC, and then it goes to telecom on Lynn Street. And then it broadcasts. The telecom company will set up a consortium for that. That's how you get LTE, 3G, whatever it is. I say, you gotta go in there. Why? Because with this infrastructure, you can now use BWR as the center for excellence in the Mano River Union. You bring the regional piece to it. That requires a principal or a board that has connection with outside universities. That requires a Minister of Finance, a Minister of Commerce, a Minister of Education, a Minister of Health to engage the Microsofts, the Apples, and the Ciscos of the world, the Carnegie Mellon Universities of the world, the MITs of the world to bring technology into partnership. We gotta be thinking that. We can't sell it for cow and goats and sheep anymore. That belongs to real Liberia. But in this smart Liberia class where the volatile people are also roaming around, we have to create a new economy. That's the role the diaspora can play. Think about it. Just think about it. Think if we were to set up, we call it a diaspora fund. All the money you're sending home, every Liberian in the diaspora put in $1 in that fund. Yeah. It becomes a catalytic fund to attract resources from development organizations for you to go and manage in your country. Yeah. Think about it. A diaspora, national diaspora organization that would be based in Liberia, but you're a diaspora person, to raise money, then you run your project. It's not public money. You can't go through PFM. You set your own rules, accounting manuals, accountability frameworks. Just like the way you have the executive director here, you recruit people from among the diaspora community, diverse, and pay them from that fund to go and run projects. Yeah. Think about it. It's just a proposal. We can put a working group together for this. Then we legislate it to protect you from all the corruption and harassment and something like that in the country. Then you pick the growth corridors. Our primary growth corridor is Monrovia to Ganta. About 60% of our population live there, Monrovia to Buchanan. That triangle. Frame it in your head. Monrovia, Ganta, Yekepa. Yekepa, Buchanan, the train track. Buchanan, Monrovia. It's a triangle there. You got paved roads. You got electricity. You got rail. You got port, you got 3G. 5 critical infrastructure there, but you don't have factories there. Besides jetting new rubber plant. And that is why I said to somebody, the executive order to limit the exportation of raw rubber out of Liberia by President Weah is a good executive order. Yeah. Because it forces It forces adding value into the country, but there's company that put money to build it there. I don't care who has share in it at this point, but it's a private company, and we should make sure that it's there. We need to do more of that for cassava processing, for this and that. So that's my challenge to you. Finally, I want to say to you that the elections are over. Here, we have blue state and red state. Then we have the swing states. If you win the swing state, you win. You cannot win your blue state alone, then you become president here. Or your red state alone. You gotta go and win Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. These are the swings. You can win either way. Well, in our country, we have the blue counties and the green counties today. Split in the middle, with Magibi being a swing county. This year, it went to UP, to the green. The last time, it went to the blue. Magibi is critical. Election over. Blue county or green county finish. We got to come together now to target the secondary growth corridors. You know what they are? I came here, I showed you all of that a long time ago, but nobody valued it then. We finished with the primary corridor. The infrastructures are there. We need the human capital and the visionary leadership in the superintendent and the sector ministers to make it work. Guys, there are stuff in our country that we can leverage to sprint and make our people's life better. But we make too much noise. We create small screen here, we defend our friends, even when they're not performing. Oh, what is that? What is that? Your brother doesn't perform, tell him. You're talking about people's lives here. There's too much poverty in the country that our generation should not fix. So, they are there. The diaspora can play a role. Everybody will not get a job in the government. And that should not be your objective. Be innovative. When you close this hole, you open different hole. When you close this one, you open this one. You gotta be moving around. The security sector. We got experts here. Do you have to be a minister to fix it? No. But you can come in and start something within the law and get it done. It can't just be watchmen there for people's houses. How about a security consulting firm? For high-level intelligence gathering to train our intelligence officers. How about immigration experts here to train the BIN? Police. So, I want to thank all of you. A lot of people here in Minnesota supported me in my campaign in Gbarpolu. Thank you for your support. It was not an easy campaign. I thought I'll go in and wait. It was tough. The odds were against me. The first slap I got was that I was a Madingo man. Then I was a Muslim. And because of my deep international connections, I was an agent for the UN and the US government to abolish the real Liberian lifestyle. That one was a big one. But we were able to convince them. And the one thing that helped me, when you are in power, use it well. When people bring their issue to you, sit down and listen to them and see how you can do it within the law. Yeah. Jansa Kawa came to me with a whole group one time, with cowtail, all that stuff, to intimidate me. They said they are being evicted. Ah, the traditional council? Yeah. We don't have budget. Our rent is 120,000. We don't have office. We don't have car. I said, yes. I sent our people to go look at this building, small tight building in Cinco for 120. I said, okay, these people are created by law, therefore they're entitled to public money. But they don't have any system, no controller, no accounting, nothing. If I give them money, then what if they don't use it well? Then I put the woman in trouble. I can't set him up to get in trouble with GSC. I say, you ready to hire an accountant? Are you ready to go through all this? And when they disgrace you, say, they look at me for a long time and say, no. Yeah, so, no, he's a good old man. We fixed the thing. I called the internal audit agency to get out somebody from them. They did all the work. Long story short, I told them, we'll pay the debt to your landlord, but you're not going there again. We are going to fix your office on Camp Johnson Road. It will not be the best of place. We'll put everything there, and we'll be working from there. And I bought him one car for his up and down. I forgot that story. It was a long time ago. So when he gave me a hard time there, I came running to my pa. He gave me this elaborate welcome there. Then we go in caucus. He said to me, you got our support. And I will take you there. He said, do you know that you don't purge this building? So I said yes, but I didn't remember that time moment. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, you remember when I came with all the people behind me, and you were trying to intimidate you, and you fixed this thing for us, you brought us here. Then it came to me, that one act of protecting a real Liberia institution, without even knowing about this real Liberia, small Liberia thing that I just discovered on the campaign trail. That Saturday, he said, let's go. He took me there and he called all of them. This is my son. As of today, he's honorary member. He's not here to protect. He's the one who gave us office. So he's lying to you. And he helped me. So use your power wisely. I have to share that with you. Now, there are people in this group who ran for office and did not win. Thank you for your courage. But next time, 3 lenses. Then I will sit down and take your questions. 3 lenses. Anything you do, whether you go work for companies or you want to go, some of you will be lucky here. The president might call you to serve, whether as junior minister, whatever. Or next time you run for office, 3 lenses. 1, the culture of the organization. Learn it first. The culture of the country. Make sure you immerse yourself in it and learn it inside out and respect it. That's the culture. You can't come and start to break it. You will not make it. Now, if the culture is corruption, then you build the coalition around the corruption before you start fighting. When you go, you say, well, for America, I did here, I'm corrupting here, this and that. You will not win because that's the culture. Then the second lens is the politics. Those of us who've gone to management school, there's a course called organizational politics. You have to learn that. Not the classroom gave you the framework. You have to apply that framework to the country, to the county, to the district you're running in, and to the agency you'll be lucky to go in. Talk to people. Understand the politics. Who has the power? Who is influencing from way down there? You got to learn to manage up and manage down, to understand that. The last one, there's no shortage of that. The structural. People coming from the diaspora are good at fixing things, but they are not able to link it to the politics and to the culture. With all due respect, with no pun intended, this is what Mr. Cummings did not understand. Even though he's a deep structural guy, you gave him the country, he can fix it. But you have to pass through the culture, the politics to get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. I think we can do more than that though. He took a very long time and a lot of things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. So at this stage, we are about to pivot. We are about to pivot. And we're going to go into question and answer period. Say that again. It's going to be handled. Just hold on 1 second. I'm going to tell you the person who's going to control this entire thing. So I'm going to have an hour and 30 minutes. I think that's the plan. But that will be controlled by Mr. Joe Mason, the President Emeritus of AJA. And so he's going to lay out the rules. He's going to lay out the process. So Mr. Mason, I got to turn the microphone to you now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, CC. Do I have the attention? Let me first of all thank everybody for being here this evening. Yeah, okay. First, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. It's 2 days to Christmas. Typically, people are out and about this time, shopping for the loved ones or hanging out with the loved ones. That you are here tonight, I want to thank you on behalf of the organizers. So thank you also very much. Do we have people who are out of state who are here tonight? Just raise your hand. Thank you for coming. I'm sure those of you who have talked ill of our weather here in Minnesota got to be very disappointed today. Now we are 2 days from Christmas and there's no snow on the ground. Awesome weather, awesome weather. So let me basically tell you how we will proceed tonight. Earlier, before our guest speaker spoke, we handed out cards for those of you who have questions to put your names on those cards. The reason we want to do that is we don't want everybody raising their hands and there's interruption in the group. So we will call your name based on the order in which the cards are presented to me. Well, if you calm down, people. If you don't have cards, put your hands up and they will hand you the card. All right? We have people distributing the cards here. And to the organizers, if we can have 2 microphones on the 2 sides of the aisle so we can take questions that way. Yes, please. So let me state again, please listen. I'm not asking you to write your questions on the card. You will read the question yourself. All I'm doing is calling your name. Alright? We want you to engage the speaker. Alright. So please, we want to put all of it. Alright. So let's proceed. Please be quiet so we can make progress. We'll do that in order, manner. I will begin. The organizers are asking me to do something quickly. I'm going to call on Amara Konneh. Aisha, if you're here, Aisha, I'm told, is the niece of our guest who is going to make a special presentation for a minute. So Aisha, if you're here, please come up quickly so we can make progress. Is Aisha in here? Please come up quickly. Understanding is Asha was raised by the guest speaker, so she's family. Asha, please make it quickly.
Anybody else with a card?
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. So I'm just trying to tell all of you here, thank you for coming and supporting my uncle. Please, please do not give up. Keep supporting him. You guys know him as this politician, but to us, he's our father, he's our uncle, he's a great family man. I don't see him as a politician, I see him as a father, but I really truly appreciate everybody here, and I know his birthday has passed, but I just wanted to do something little for him while he's here with my mothers, all of them here. So could you guys help me to sing him a happy birthday? Please. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. More like. Come on, guys. Maybe few. Let me have 51. That's enough. 51. That's enough. Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. No. I think we have to take the president. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started. Please,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Again, thank you all so much for the interest. Thank you all so much who submitted your names. We'll try to get as many questions in as possible. You also understand that our guest is an excellent talker, so hopefully he's responding properly to the questions so that we can get enough answers this evening. I will begin the Q&A. Mr. Konneh, thank you so much again for being here. I want to go back to the Lionel Messi and just to begin on a lighter note, on the Lionel Messi and the diving ball description. You are perhaps the politician riding the most wave right now. You were just recently elected senator of Gbarpolu County. You also were a strategist in the Joseph Boakai campaign. As a matter of fact, people commend you for the digital platform that was organized in the way in which the campaign results were announced. As a matter of fact, immediately after the results were announced, I was on Facebook, and you were a social media phenomenon. There were women who wanted to marry him because of the excellent work he did. My question to you, sir, talk about the wave that you're riding right now. How are you channeling that wave? Post-election, there was a viral moment when you were very emotional. Talk about that as well. What went into that emotion, and how are you channeling this wave right now?
Thank you for your question. To be honest,
please be quiet. Let's hear the guest. Thank you.
To be honest with you, all of this is shocking to me. The attention I'm getting and all of that, it's not something I imagined when I made a decision to support President-elect Boakai's UB Alliance. I didn't go into it with that mindset. I just wanted to win. And I spent 2 weeks doing the intellectual work. It's not just the digital. I spent 2 weeks in my living room. My wife and I had just come, and my team from Gbarpolu. I told the team to go. The local election was over. I was thinking if I would have the energy to do another election again, because my election was physically demanding because of the bad roads. So every day, me and a mentee I had recruited from the University of Liberia many years ago and guided him through his career. I call him, he and I started to look at the first round numbers. We started to look at the 2017 numbers to establish trends and then extract from those trends to be able to create a pathway to victory for the UP Alliance. When we developed 3 scenarios, we projected the turnout by averaging the previous second round elections. 2011 became an outlier because the CDC did not participate in the second round, so we dropped it. So we said, okay, 56% will show up. That's about 1.5 million. Out of that, how many of that will come from the green and how many will come in? So we did all that stuff. Then I put a smaller team together of UP supporters who knew about numbers. I say, you're tearing apart. You all ask all the questions. Let's answer your questions. Let's build credibility for this number, for this projection, because in projecting, you need a third eye. So 1, 2 days, my wife cooked, we ate. And that's when one foolish boy was there. He took some video and sent it to Koji had a press conference. Said we had brought somebody to cheat them and all of that. But we're planning to defeat them. So after that, I brought the vice presidential candidate, Mr. Konneh, and his team quietly and showed him the pathway. And he asked his questions, we answered him, he said, good. So I said, it's up to you now for me to show it to the campaign team and give it to them. So they called a big meeting. I came to the meeting, and when I came to the meeting, I basically entered that room, guys, in war mode. I saw myself with this singular work that this could be the game changer. If we have to get them to go into their head. So I came in there and said, listen, everything you did in the first round means nothing. You want nothing, that's why we're sitting here. Everybody look at me and say, oh, he's not appreciating our effort. And I say, yeah, because you did not win anything. And there will be no third round. So, long story short, they all liked it. And they said I should coordinate. Since it's your thing, then you make us to win. It was a consensus thing they did. I was not prepared to be that. I thought there was somebody else. But the one thing that we added was security, because the strategy called for minimizing the bleeding that happened in the Southeast. If we can control the line there by preventing people to vote multiple times, as it was done allegedly in the first round, that increased the number, which could be good. So I said we needed to bring security into the fold. And I asked them who, they said A.B. Krumah. I said, I sent for him, 30 minutes to be here. He came 30 minutes, I said, can you do this work? He said, yes. Can you give me a plan and budget in 24 hours? He said, I'll give it to you tomorrow. So that's how we started. So we're able to mobilize 15,000 strong men across the country to protect our third most important assets in the campaign, the poll washers. All we needed to do is to get the tally sheet safely, communicate it from the field, and do that. I did not build any new system. All the systems were there, but they were underutilized by 25% in the first round because of poor leadership. They have full systems doing the same job. I convened another meeting to eliminate to avoid this confusion. The first system, which was the primary system in the first round, you had to use the pin something. No. The external memory stick to get information from here, bring it to another computer, and do the tally and go back. So the guy was my friend, and I look at him. I said, let's time it. We have to be able to do this in a particular time. I want to report by 3 a.m. If your system can do that, we'll keep it. If you're not going to be here. He looked at me and I said, I don't want to call his name. I said, your system did not pass the test. I said, you're my friend, we work together, but we're going to kill it. He didn't like it. He said, okay, so then we'll win. So he gone. The second system, same lousy work, we kill it. And then the third system was adequate, met the timing, the fourth, but did not have the digital component. So I said, okay, we'll use this system to get the numbers from the field. Then the fourth system had the digital component where with the smartphone, you just need to take the picture and you enter into mobile network Zoom. You didn't have to go back again and program it automatically or transmit to our system because the program was there already. But what we needed to do is to get everybody a smartphone. So we had to buy 7,000 smartphones. Yeah. And you won't believe it, myself were in the market because I didn't want anybody to steal the money. Yes. So, but the secret weapon in our operation that is not reported is the plane. We have a plane. We have a quiet plane inside the country. That's how we're able to transport all these boots on the ground. And then we hire a motorbike, about, I think 5,000 in remote places, ready. As soon as next day, there's everybody's son, you take your picture, you put it in your phone, no network there, you get on the motorbike, boom, you're gone. The security man sitting behind the man, until it put 4 people on the motorbike, they're going. You're going to the next network so he can come to us. It was, it was like a real military mission. My hero is Colin Powell, so I was just using the power doctrine that he wrote. You go in overwhelming force, you overwhelm your enemy, and then when you win, you own it. Okay, that's the doctrine. And that's the philosophy we use. So, but then, in some places where the motorbike gave up, they would climb in a tree to get net. Yes. Those are the heroes that we don't hear about. It's not me. It's not me. Those are the heroes. They will climb in a tree until they get network to report it because I told them I have to report by 3. If you don't send it to me, we've got a problem. The other thing we did is that we pay people in advance with a lot of rate. They could have taken the money and disappear, but just to let them know that nobody's going to eat your money. Up to now, some of the tally sheet from the first round is not with us, but the second round, 100%. So I just want you to know that when I cried, it was just an emotional tear of joy to see that you people were not seeing all of this. And then there was the military component. The national security meeting was convened, and the idea was to do something. We'll tell that story another time. But the military did not budge. All kinds of things were happening that you guys didn't know about here in order to steal this election. So I had put myself on the line, to say it's not going to happen. What if I had failed? I was the one telling the country, we're going to tell you nobody's going to steal this election. But you didn't know about all of this. Every morning I wake up at 5 a.m., I'm calling 15 counties to make sure what happened overnight. No sleeping. I woke up one day, I couldn't open my eyes. So it was just not the digital, but it was also that family, the chairman of UB in Grand Crew, Barclayville, who the entire market refused to sell them rice to pork because he supported Waka. we had to send food from Maryland to the family. It's the magistrates who refused, because there were 2 tally sheets. The tally sheet from the police center, we had 2,890 police centers. That's the one we needed. But the second tally sheet was the magistrate tally sheet from the county capital. That's the one they wanted to chase to manipulate the result. Then what kind of noise you make with the small tally sheet, then you have a problem. We were able to get all before they got there. They actually chased them, they offered money, but it was too late. So that's what happened.
Thank you, sir. The first person I want to go to who asked the question is Madam Marie Hayes, former board member of Berlin. The next person will be Master Duplessis. Master Duplessis, please prepare to ask the next question. Thank you. And out of deference to folks in the hall, I have almost 50 cards. Please ask one question. Please. Thank you.
For correction, I'm the former board chair of the Organization of Liberians.
Correction noted.
Senator Konneh, congratulations. I am a daughter of Gbarpolu.
Oh.
I am the daughter of the late Paramount Chief Flomo Yasia.
Whoa.
And I appreciate that you even went into Berayala, not just for the first time when you were elected, but after you were elected. Thank you. My niece said you fed her. They were NEC workers, come for Yasia. So you fed them, you bought food for them, you took care of them.
You didn't give them food.
Yes, thank you. With that, let me ask my question. I'm sorry I'm not going to stay the whole while. I dislocated my shoulder a week ago, so I asked them, let me go first, I need to go home and rest it. My question is specifically about Gbarpolu. I see that they listed the mineral resources that we have in Gbarpolu. Those resources are being taken away. We have miners there that are doing that. What are your plans for Gbarpolu County? How will Gbarpolu County benefit from the resources that we have? That's my question.
No, I gotta go to your heart. You're my constituent.
Oh, go ahead, take a picture of it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. I ran on a regional agenda. Gbarpolu County is a double landlocked county. To get from the main economic center, you have to go through Bomi, which is landlocked, before you get to Gbarpolu. So which is a double whammy economically. Geography matters in growth economics, and you need to address it because it offers dynamic challenges. So I argued to the voters that for Western Liberia to develop, we needed to take a regional approach. We have the Trans-West Africa Highway in the Western Liberia region that goes to the Sierra Leone border is being depleted by Western Cluster Mining Company because they are shipping iron ore by road. And then you have electricity there that we're able to put there through the CLSG program I talk about and the electricity expansion program that we launched that this government continues to push. Gbarpolu is way behind Bomi. There's nothing there. Absolutely nothing. So they brought, it's rich in minerals and forests. But all kinds of Chinese people in the forest there, mining, doing things. You got Malaysian stuff there. They don't want to pay the community forest fees to the community, so they can move the logs. And then, for the first time in the history since the creation of the county 22 years ago, we have a multi-billion-dollar Chinese firm called BioChico that is now has shipped its first iron ore from the range that is right across. It runs from Omenjala Long Village all the way to the current senator's hometown in the forest there. This company was brought in and they built a road exclusively to evacuate the ore. The road is the size of a runway.
Wow.
The main road that the citizens use is nothing there. It's bad. Then they brought 100 trucks from China with no participation by Gbarpolu citizen or any Liberian for that matter. Wow. And no other country can use that road. Exclusivity on that road. I said, "Oh yes, sir, I will change it. I'm going to change that. We're going to review that concession agreement because they give it to them in exchange for the security contract. I don't want to call names here, but we know who they are. They are government officials. The company pays $700 for one security officer per month. They paid each of them $150. So drop $150 for $750. And $550. 550 times maybe 500. Do the math. Multiply that by 12. Then multiply that by 25 years. Then they give the county 500,000. Nobody in the county ever heard about this mineral development agreement. Nobody knows the size of the deposit to get the 525 years. No citizen knows the quality of the ore. The government itself did not disclose the quality of the ore to be able to, for them to pay the real royalty. Now, you have a former finance minister and senator. We'll change it. We'll change it.
Thank you so much. So what we'll do now, we'll change the format slightly. We'll take 3 questions at a time. 3 questions at a time, and the guest will answer those questions the way he sees fit, so we can get more people to ask the question. The other thing I will ask of you, please be direct with your question, so that way we're saving time. So, Master, if you're ready, the next person will be Abraham K. Kamaro, the second, and Olem Boche, Mr. Adobia. Those 3 will ask the questions in that order.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Master Dukley. Good afternoon, Honorable Senator-elect Amara Konneh. My question here today, first of all, congratulations on your election, Mr. You were distinguished. My question here today will go directly to you. I listened to you once on Spoon TV saying, during Madam Salif time, our young people were used to send out of the country, especially the bright one, to acquire education, to get ourselves ready for the future. But during the past government, the outgoing government, those things were not happening. And presently now, the crisis in our country is a push. Our young people have been reduced to nothing. Those guys are on the street. When you see some of our brothers that we sat in class with today, if you see them, some of them, you can measure their age to 60, 70 years old. I might be even younger than some of them, but because of the condition in Liberia. As a senator-elect now, I want you to tell this audience what will be your contributions towards our young people in Liberia to bring the tradition back again, sending our kids outside the country to acquire those prestige education? It shouldn't be only about government or future children. It should also be about our young people, because the young people are the future leader of Liberia.
Thank you.
So please, I will want you to answer that question with clarity, because I want to understand everything it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Ibrahim?
Thank you, Honorable Amara Konneh. I want to tell you thank you very much for your efforts in bringing JMB to the presidency, because it's through your efforts that today that we have the president-elect. But my question is, looking at the Liberian youth, most of them, they call them Zoko. What are your plans for those our brothers that they are calling Zobo today? Remember, we fought 14 years civil war, but most of our brothers, they are taking drugs. So I just want for you to be able to make it explicit to this audience. What will be your plan in contributing in that direction? Thank you.
And the final one from Mr. Yeah.
Thank you. Again, thank you, Honorable Senator-elect. And thank you to our community. My question is in line with the question that was asked by Madam Hayes, but it's more specific towards this Bao Chico. And I feel, sitting here, I feel very envious that the people of Gbarpolu will have such a man of your talent, commitment, and everything you have to be the senator. I feel like I want to steal you, but I think I'll move to Gbarpolu.
No, we give you land.
All right, thank you. But I saw a video recently circulating on Facebook about people of Gbarpolu being asked by this company, Bao Chico, to leave their village so that they can do blasting. And this is a frequent occurrence that is happening. These villagers will be told to leave their village and go so they can do blasting. And then, every time they leave. How are you going to protect these poor people from this? The mini road has become a curse to them. Because this is their mini road. Now it has become a curse to them. They have to leave their village every time the company is ready to blast. Thank you.
You can apply maybe in China.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Thank you for your questions. I think the first two questions are the same. And they are very important questions because the drug epidemic in our country is real. And it's eating away Liberia's future. Our understanding is that there are people in position to help these young people who are bringing the drugs into the country. So we need to look at the drug enforcement regime first. Is it adequate? Do they have the resources to fight this epidemic? Are we really prioritizing what we're just talking about it? Every family in Liberia today has a drug addict child. It's not even a problem anymore. It's a Liberian problem. In the villages, everywhere there's push. In rural Liberia is there. The Zocos are all over the country. So it's a national crisis. So we're going to revisit the DEA and the executive law that created it fight this this epidemic. And if not, we need to strengthen it. To extend it to the drug law, where in this complicated war here, the Americans help you to arrest more than $500 million worth of drugs, and then you confiscate some money from the people. Then they go through your court system, and you find them not guilty. Then you tell the law enforcement to give the people money back to them. You know. So my contribution is going to be in a general scheme of this. I have to acknowledge here that Senator John, on his own, has started something in Monserrado. It may be small, but this is the kind of good leadership we need to do. I sent him a message the other day, and I said to him when I come in the Senate, I'm going to partner with you to nationalize this. And we have to do a national program. First, the institution, the soft side, we're going to do the hard side to fight this thing. We need to introduce mental health programs in Liberia. We need to raise the communities of the drug laws. Their own parents are selling drugs to survive. And then regarding the training of our young people, yes, it's true, we train a lot of people and they were not government children, selling the people I know of. They were better for seller children, etc. Some of them went to Harvard, Georgetown, Georgia Tech, Duke, and all of that. We train a lot of people. The good news is most of them are in Liberia, but they were underutilized by this regime because they were considered to be opposition people. So I will be in the Senate. Hopefully we can do it better this time through special financing, but focusing, in my view, is the human capacity building in the education and health sector. We got plenty of policy people now. We don't have doctors, nurses, health workers, and teachers, trained teachers in the country. We have to focus on that. Yeah. On the issue of biological, my brother, it's a disaster. But I'm not senator yet. I believe biological offers an opportunity to begin the development process in our country. And I'll make sure that we don't lose this opportunity. The communities you're talking about are camping there. These are mud houses. As they blast, they catch the people in their houses. And our lawmakers signed the MDA. There was no consultation with our city. Nobody has seen this. The citizen called them in Kugala. If you hear from Gbarpolu, you know Kugala is the home of the late revered Paramount Chief Jalan Long. There's a clinic, no medicine, there's a multi-billion-dollar company right across the road, blasting. The school in his hometown has not operated in 3 years. There's a multi-billion-dollar company what they're blasting. So, keep watching. We're going to visit that concession. We're going to make sure that it benefits the people. We're going to extend it to the Western Cluster concession too that we're supposed to get money from. We'll consult our people. That's the promise I gave. You got your Liberia, that's also you have a stake there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We will take questions now from Irene Torbert Crotte.
Here. Hello, dear.
Abadu Sharif and Arthur Zakama in that order. So Irene, you go first.
Hi everyone, I'm Amara Konneh. My name is Amara Konneh, daughter of the late Peace Ambassador, Reverend William Aratoba, that was murdered in 2001. My family was hit hard in 2001, lost my auntie Christine to our Norma after 3 months, and then my father was murdered in cold blood. Up to today's date, there is no answer, no disclosure. I tell you up to now, Justice Minister, Police Director, they stop answering our call because, quote unquote, they don't have anything to say. But it's all right. And I want to say thank you to Amara Konneh and everyone that helped to bring this horror, terror, and error to an end in Liberia. Amara Konneh, I am concerned about the private sector. In your speech, you talk about the amount of money that we send by home. Right now, we all in there, we know how Christmas oppression is on. It's on everybody. But if we create jobs in the private sector, it will help to lessen the burden from, on us on this side. So this is not directly about Gbarpolu, but you're working with GMB and very supportive. How this regime can tackle creating jobs in the private sector for our young people. Because when your niece, your nephew, your daughter out there working, it help to lessen your limitation in supporting the money. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say congratulations to our hero, Amara. Even though he said he's not a hero, he said the heroes are behind the scene, but you show your chest to the bullet, you could get killed. So, no matter what, you are our hero. So my question had to do when you were Minister for Finance, during the budgetary appropriation, on the budget line, you have a lot of Christian youth organizations listed for subsidy, and you have a lot of other Christian organizations listed for budgetary allotment, and you also have Christian schools for budget, and you have Muslim school system listed for budget, and you have the Muslim students listed for subsidy. Now my question is, immediately when you left office, that budget was reviewed and certain people were deleted and other that you put there remain there. For example, the Islamic school system no more receive budget. The organization, the Muslim youth no more receive budget. So now, at that time you were serving as a will and pleasure of somebody, but now you are elected. Nobody can fire you. So I want to know, what is your plan towards this decision?
Thank you. Thank you.
After Zakama.
After Zakama.
They got to let it take back. You can ask them in 2 minutes.
Congratulations, Senator-elect. Well, as a public disclosure, I should say it here. Hello?
Yeah?
Thank you. As a public disclosure, I should state here clearly that I'm the former national chairman of CDC in the Americas. Okay. And I say this purposely because I have deep affinity and admiration for the brilliance of Amara Konneh. Yeah. So that's why I decided to do so. Thank you. I like smart people. Right. Well, I want to say this. I work for the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, where part of my responsibility within the application group is to monitor, analyze, and support 3 lines of business. Application that process, again I emphasize, that process $4 to $5 trillion a day. Let me emphasize here clearly, they are all automated. And in Liberia, heavily is cash-based. And because of that human intervention, there's propensity to steal. My question to you, within the payment ecosystem, what are we doing to make sure that we automate it to stop the human intervention and stop corruption? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Irene, I want to extend my condolences to you and your family. We followed that terrible, thing that happened to your father, and I just hope that one day we can find justice for him. The private sector is the engine of growth and development. I think in Liberia, we have not had the political will to really put Liberians at the center of the private sector. I mean, I just show you thematically, virtually. Hey, by the way, you look at that stuff. If you want to visit Gbarpolu, we got stuff there. You can come. There's opportunities there, so you can come. So if we don't get more Liberians into businesses in the circular flow of our economy, we're not going to do well. So we have to be intentional about promoting Liberians, but the Liberians will have to do the heavy lifting themselves. People say you talk so. In my own talk so is that when we put money in the bank for people to borrow to do businesses, they get the money, they become bossmen overnight, then they're hiring a lot of people to open doors for them, to do the cooking. I was Minister of Finance. I couldn't afford a houseboy or husband. I did my own laundry like I do here. I'm telling you, I made my breakfast. My favorite breakfast is oatmeal and boiled egg. I can do that. I don't have to hire somebody to do that for me. So, on the weekend, I wash my bathroom, and my sisters will help me. That's it. So, we can talk so. The culture of laziness is too much in our country. It's all over. So, we have tried before to empower Liberian businesses, but they take the money, they don't pay back. The rate of non-performing loans, just FBDI is out of business. Nobody goes there anymore because they took all the money and lent it out to the elites. So to assure you, we are going to do our best. I'm one person. Like I said in my talk, we have to build a small progressive caucus that can be bold and be pushing things so that some of our friends can join us. But to build consensus is harder because there are political constraints. I recognize that the private sector is the engine of growth. We need to go to the business registry and clean it up so that you can register faster without corruption. We've got to look at all the systems in commerce that they use to collect money from the cartels, the Lebanese, and crowd out the Liberians. We got to go back to Western Cluster, all the CDC government officials that get their trucks there and take it from there and give it to ordinary Liberians so that the ordinary people can benefit from the minerals versus government officials. Because that is what is happening. All the trucks are parked, all the buses are parked because government officials have crowded out the real private sector out of those things. So it's a problem. How do you build the next the middle class? So it's a big problem. We will have to address it. We're going to fight because they are powerful people. They are there with us. So if we're going to change it there will be clashes there. This is why you need a strong lobbying group. OLM, you got to change your strategic focus. Pressure can help the good people to survive. In our country, when you're good, you become a target. If you all sit down now and leave the good people to the lions, they eat them, then we're not looking for people to fight for us. We can stand our ground, but push the good things. And Dylan can't do it. He speaks about these issues, but nobody supports him. There's something fundamentally wrong with that. How do you sit there as a legislature, they bring budget in and go out the same way? Where? Consistently for 6 years, now you can't pay your welcome. Every day they say surpluses. When you're supposed to be running an expansionary economic policy, deficits are not bad things. You know, America's budget deficit, trillions of dollars to remain superpower. So budget shortfall becomes a big problem. As long as it is not more than 5% of GDP, you're good. Keep it at 5% or below, you're good. Because you're pumping the money to grow the economy, to expand, so you can collect more revenue and do more. Keep it under 5% of GDP. You're all right for a shallow economy like ours. So private sector is good. Yeah, my friend is Zagaman. No, the man asked for subsidy, shall we? Yeah. You shall we? Yeah. Well, you asked me a question. You're not scared? We're a man who hold a sheriff in a corner and joke mates. So he's supposed to be my slave, I'm supposed to be a slave. I don't know who the judge. Well, anyway, look, hey, you raised the issue about training young people. Let me tell you something. We have to invest in the people. We got to give most of the money to the people. You see the budget we just submitted? Nobody has seen it, so because it's an embarrassment. You're not saying 100 million anymore, it went down. But 95% of the $676 million budget that was given to the legislature on Thursday is recurrent expenditure. We spend it on the government, on people who work in the government. 95%, only 5% is available. So, I don't know why they changed it. When I was Minister of Finance, even though I was not popular, CDC was a very strong opposition. They juggler everything. When you say we got money to pay the road here, what does that mean for the ordinary man in West Point? West Point was their measurement. So long it didn't affect people in West Point, it was bad. Zagamasaro, because. But then, what does this mean for the ordinary man in Nukrutan? They will get your power and did nothing in Nukrutan. Anyway, so I don't know why they did it, but our intention was to keep the young people busy. The FLY, the LINSUs, the Manu River Union Parliament, the YMCAs, YWCAs. We even give money to the Boy Scout and the Girl Scout of Liberia to resuscitate it. All of us were scouts when we were growing up. It keeps the young people busy. You got to make education the centerpiece for success. And not this stuff they do. So maybe as a lawmaker, not maybe, but as a lawmaker, I should argue that to my people. But do we have the money now? Maybe we have to grow the economy again, but I'm not going to be finance minister. I will be there in the Senate and to help as much as possible without overstepping my authority. I'm supposed to be providing oversight and making law, and I'm supposed to be implementing. I don't intend to put my hand there. Yeah. So what I think they used to do to me as Minister of Finance, where when I bring budget, I did a clever thing. Sorry, my friend. I did a clever thing. I introduced the MTEP budget, the medium-term expenditure budget. Every time I went there, I said, oh, I want to redo the hydro. Oh man, the hydro, what does it mean for West Point? I have a discounted, So we crafted a 3-year budget smartly and locked in the resources to do all the things I told you about. That's how I was able to get them. 3-year rolling budget, crafted into law. All I needed to do was to raise the money. And to date, let me brag small. I'm the Minister of Finance who has raised the most money since 1847. That's my record. Yeah. Both domestically and internationally, I am the higher fundraiser among the Ministers of Finance of Liberia. So my job was to keep the young people busy, but then people saw that as me preparing for a bigger job, as an ambition. So when they came and said, Amara Konneh did all these things, they just scrapped it because of ambition. Then to the former chairman, to my friend, question. When I became Minister of Finance, the direct deposit share of the budget was just 5-7%. Most of the corruption was in the health and education sector. So I convened a interagency team and I brought in the donors. Let's clean this up. We brought in an expert for education and health. They almost killed the education guy. And we go in the field to do fingerprinting. Those who work with me in planning and finance, I introduce fingerprinting as a for time sheet. You come in, you do it, we grab you, then you report it to work. If you work there, you know what I'm talking about. They will spoil it overnight, I will fix it again. They will spoil it overnight, I will fix it again. So we introduced the direct deposit scheme. We took, like he said, when you take money out of people's hands, the corruption goes down. So this requires now a legislation that goes with the budget. You understand? If you're going to spend $700 million, you got to automate it. You're forced to do it. I can guarantee you, I don't know which committee I would chair. I don't know. But whatever happens, you know, the wisdom means you don't have to chair here, you will still be there. But I don't know which one I would chair. My colleagues would decide. I cannot impose myself. But I'll be a powerful voice when it comes to accountability in terms of public money. I mean, you saw I did the billboard in the yard, they spoiled it. I built a partnership with the community radio stations to do open budget initiative. That's how people were used to the budget and they were talking more about corruption. Then every quarter, we got audited by GAC and the IMF came in to check our books and we reported to the legislature and publish it. That was the routine. How can you be more transparent than that? So we will push for it. Hopefully some of the citizens will help us. And then we can take money out of the hands of people. Even vendors, when you get paid, you got to pay it directly to your bank account. Look, let me stand up. Corruption is easy to fight in Liberia. It's all noise. It's all noise. The government gets one account. It's called the consolidated account at the central bank. Now, in Lokatu, in Ganta, in the big centers where we collect revenue from businesses, the banks that are there, we create transitory accounts there and sweep at the end of the month into the consolidated account. When the government read the checks to pay a vendor or to pay your something, if you have direct deposit, it goes there. If you don't have direct deposit, you get the check. Now, maybe the 10% is there.
Yeah.
Right? The 10% is there. The procurement people do the 10% is a culture. That culture is there, guys. If you are lucky to work at Fana, then no 10% is there. And you can't break that culture because the guy will lie. And you know, so minister, you can't go and find that one out. But guess what? That check has a number. He goes and deposits that check, and then through the banking system, the central bank pays that money. Then if it was paid for a service to be delivered, and that service was not delivered, you can trace the check. We don't do that. We just do tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. Every day, you know, everybody just confusing the corruption fight like it's a hard thing. So automation is the key. But even before automation, there's a way to find out who is the money for not delivering a service. If you give, if you say dollar market was 2 billion, and Lace built it, Lace. I'm on camera?
Yeah.
Oh. Really? So I want to say something that...
Go on the camera for 1 minute.
Go on the camera, 1 minute.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, I'm a leader. I have to believe you. I have to have the courage of conviction to speak. This is the corruption institution in our governance system. If they want to do any quick impact project, they send it to LACE. They inflate the cost. And through the contractors, they get the kickback. So we need to review this. And I will be pushing for that. We've got to fix it. There's a lot of corruption there, but nobody knows there. The focus is on finance and this and that. It's now on these small institutions where they put money in the budget, set up their credit.
Thank you so much. Let me apologize. The organizers tell me that we're out of time. So I will take 3 more questions. Before I do that, I want to recognize a few people and a number of groups, beginning with the organizers, the Organization of Liberians in Minnesota, represented here by the Executive Director and members of the board chair, Mr. Atobia is here as well. Thank you all so much. I also want to recognize the Sierra Leone community here in Minnesota. They're also here as well. Change Liberia, Akavi Konneh, I want to recognize you. Thank you for being here. To all the organizations and groups that play a pivotal role in organizing this event, I want to thank you all. I know board member Sisi Goya will come up to do the formal vote thing, but I just want to do that before I leave. Let me now call on the final 3 questionnaires to ask their questions, and then we'll wrap up this session, beginning with Christine Clark, Orlando Yoloba, and Langley Kathleen. Christine Clark.
Hey,
I don't know if you did the question. Go ahead.
Good evening, Senator-elect. My name is Kirsten. I have a question. My question for you is, as a doctoral student, I have every dream of going back to Liberia to teach one day. What would you do as a senator so that we can bring the PhD program to Liberia? Liberia is one of the oldest African countries, and we don't even have a PhD program at all, that I know of. I don't know if we have one. I stand to be corrected. Okay. We do?
You have.
Well, I will let the senator answer that for me. And you know, what will you do to make our educational system a lot better so that people that are going to school here, because not all of us who are going to school here tends to be here. We want to go home and give back. And we want to go home and be safe while we're there and give back as well. So how are you going to contribute to make sure our educational system is a lot more better and equivalent to any other international country? Thank you.
The noise, please, the noise, please. Orlando, Yoruba, Orlando.
Minister Amara Konneh. I call you Minister because I served my leadership from 2010 under Gafuan and then up to 2015 under you. And I was directly under Civil Sanok Reconciliation. My dear brother Koko is right here. So my question here for you, before I say my question is a congratulations for your help towards the president-elect. But I have a different background. I served you. I served Gafuan. The only person I did not serve was Boyma Kamara because of my study in California. And that side. But I saw the working of Gafuan and saw the working of you. This is why I say I have a different background. I'm being the premise. And I also work with people that work with you, like Justin Kubik, my brother, Kubik Koli. I want to ask this question. If today you are asked by the president-elect to resign as a senator and serve either in the monetary area, central bank, or the policy arm, finance ministry, what will be that's my question. That's my question. The reason I ask you a question, because they are people about the freeway. They will not be able to ask me. They are not able to ask me. But before you speak, and I want to do, and I know how to deliver. So, please, let the brother ask this question, please. Will you accept if the president-elect asks you to take that position?
Thank you so much, thank you.
Next question.
Please, we are not done yet, please.
Hello. Honorable Minister, maybe I work with you with the Father Office for the Liberation of Commerce.
Hey, people, please, we can barely hear the brother ask his question, please. Thank you, we're almost done, thank you. Thank you, go ahead.
I just want to commend him. I worked with him professionally at the Chamber of Commerce. I served as program officer when he was Father Office. But I'm a politician, all right? I'm entering and representing in the interest of Senator Young Kanga. I want to tell you some very critical things. The salary of Liberian lawmaker, $15,000, is absurd. Our children are not going to school. We're going to advocate against that for the civil society. 2, we should be having one currency. It's a circular flow. We've been stable for 20 years. We can't have 2 currencies. Yes, we can't have 2 currencies in Liberia. We study economics. It's not possible. Now, some of us, we are displaced in America. I was trained to be able to work at the Chamber of Commerce. I had to come to the States for professional opportunities and to improve my family. From today, I'm just asking you, with a preference that you help, if my board chair will improve, that you serve on our Liberian office, the Liberia Business Association Diaspora office in Liberia. We want for you to be on that panel. The reason is that, Libya, we want for you to be on the panel of Libya. The reason is just simple. We have to facilitate our development. Then the critical thing that gets to me, as a teacher in the Silverberg Middle School, in America, children do quadratic equation in 8th grade. Each time I go to that school to teach, I'm traumatized about Liberia my whole life, from elementary to higher education. Let me just tell you, Amara, I disagree. When you're at a certain level, I enjoy Liberia. I went to General, St. Patrick's, Cottonton. I went to law school in Liberia. I compete, I do work in the States. Alright, people get to know me professionally. And that opportunity should be given to every Liberian children in the rural area. Every Liberian children. Yes. Human capital. You get developed, the mind not developed. And our government does not prioritize. Okay? So we need that extra effort. Then you have a global development. Okay? I'm saying this church, Liberian people, let it audit the legislature. Yeah, let it audit the Liberian legislature, let it audit the judiciary. That more of Liberia can be better. Don't go making 15,000, 20,000 now in the economy. What work are they doing?
Thank you.
Value for money.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please lend me your ears. Please. Let's answer the question so that we can close this thing. PhD. Your name was Christine? Kirsten. I don't have an answer for you about the PhD program because I don't know much about the university working. But I know this, that universities are supposed to be places for research, mainly for research. Our universities don't invest in research because research costs money. And we struggle to fund our public university LU year on year, and it's getting worse. The private universities are offering education without research capacity. So I don't want to sit here and start making all these promises because money is a constraint, and sometimes our leaders in the education sector don't have deep connections with the UNESCOs of the world, with outside universities that have big endowments that they can build partnerships with to support some of these research capacities. And they don't have to be on the ground. In the age of technology, you could connect to libraries of Harvard. Harvard has an open library. What you have to do is to make the connection. And then you give your students access in Monrovia and something. So this is something that the education committee in the Senate that I intend to be on. People say I want to do everything, but in the Senate I will be on the committees because each committee is supposed to be having the county representative with 2. My colleague will go on some, but I will go on some. We have to really increase the share of investment in education and health, to at least be on West African standard. Right now we're way below. So you can expect us to be constructive advocates in the Senate along with others to increase spending in education and try to fix some of these things, and then leverage our network outside of Liberia to help. Your question. If I will accept to be finance minister. It's gone? Oh yeah? Listen, I work hard for this Senate job. And I went into it because I have a vision. That's my vision. What I need to do is to make other people to buy into that vision and build alliances and demonstrate shared interests so this vision can benefit the other people. For example, Western Liberia. In Western Liberia, we have a collapsed healthcare system. But my country has a brand new 100-bedroom hospital that has never delivered one service to anyone. So my idea is to turn that into a Western Liberia regional hospital, so that 3 countries can fight for money for that hospital. Then we use that as a catalyst to attract money from the EU, the WHO, because under our borrowing law, you wouldn't borrow for economic projects. It's hard to borrow money for health and education. We'll have to raise the money. Then we'll make Gbarpolu Hospital the regional referral hospital, we buy 4x4 SUV ambulances and put it between to be moving people from the country. Here, a helicopter, over there we can do the 4x4 ambulances. And then we build relationship which President Ilebwaka and I have already started with Morocco healthcare system to adapt this place. So there's a doctor exchange on a regular basis. Our people can go there for training. They can send doctors for 3 to 6 months at a time, you know, to build capacity. Then my country becomes the center for healthcare for more than half a million people. Okay? Then Bobby will ask me, Amara, this is fantastic, but it won't benefit your country. And what do we get? There they have the community college that is only getting 50,000 just to pay the teachers, no research capacity. So then the idea now is to turn that into a Western Liberia university. Thomas Jefferson started University of Virginia just for saying, with a one room classroom. Huh? Jefferson, back then, he didn't have money. We gotta be bold. We can create a university in Tokmanburg that will cater to the tertiary education needs for Western Liberia. That becomes the center for education. The hospital is there, we're not neglecting it. But we built a hospital network in Western Liberia. Gbarpolu becomes the health hospital and everybody's connected to it. Then Cape Town will say, what do we get? Well, you are on the coastline. You have fisheries, you have tourism. We fight through the investment climate, the business, private sector team. You know, when I was Minister of Finance, I built a cold storage there. And I built a pier there for ships to land, boats, the fishing boats, when I was Minister of Finance. I went there, I saw them branding the fish to dry them so the fish don't spoil. Through World Bank financing, we put a cold storage there. We need to expand that so more fish can be stored there. But this time, the condition is to supply the protein needs of Western Liberia first before it goes to Monrovia. So we've got to create the market for that. Then people, fishermen and people in the fishery business in Cape Town will begin to get money. Then we support Liberians to go and open that hotel that Mrs. Victoria Tobel built way back. It's there, the infrastructure is in tight. They just burn it down because of war. You just look at the infrastructure, you burn it down, you say the former first lady built it. You just destroy it. So we give it to a business, a Liberian person, and open and give them capital, not through the budget, to go and borrow and fix that place. So we all, instead of coming to America for vacation, we go there for vacation. It becomes the vacation spot for Liberians. This is my team. It's not easy. I have to convince them to do that. But if I can get it done, but at least 50%, we'll be on our way. So this is the thinking. To answer your question, I agree with you. This has been a big debate about the compensation of lawmakers. Can I confess to you? I don't know how much these people make up to now. It's not a priority for me. But it's a concern for the citizens who have to address it. You know, if lawmakers are making 15,000, I can't change that. It's a culture. Remember, I come in, you ask me, that's the culture there. I have to go to understand this culture. What is in the 15,000? Is it salary 15,000 or all the small benefit put together is 15,000? I don't know. And so I'm finance minister, you're right. The way I know it, we gave them money for rent for those who came outside of the county. Because technically, Monserrato is not their official domicile. So you have to pay for housing, just like it's done in Washington. I come in. It's a monthly rent. So maybe say, could go show us the place you're renting. Maybe you can say that. but I don't want to put word in your mouth. I don't want my friend to turn against me yet. So we pay the rent, we pay the transportation, we pay the fuel, we pay the scratch card, and all of that put together, plus the real salary was like around 5,000 or 6,000, and then it goes up. So we gotta, you see, this is what happens when you're not transparent. What is wrong with just breaking it down for the citizen? This is the breakdown of our pay. And so I will look into it. I don't know what has changed since I left government 7 years ago. The other thing you talk about, to audit them. Okay. We can go back 20 years. Let me repeat that. And it will be my last thing before we gotta go. Audits. You have President-elect that will audit the outgoing government on VOA. And I've never seen any person has committed to it as he is. He's dead committed to this. And he's not going to politicize it. He's not going to allow our internal politics to spoil this one. There will be a competitive recruitment process for an international firm to come and do this work. He said it on VOA. But there are those who are arguing that we should audit the legislature, the early government, and way back. Let me tell you something. The audit reports that John Mono did and Isidore Gate did, when there was credibility there, they are there. This government had them. They chose not to act on them. Close to 500 audit reports are on GAC website, folks. And we just argue all the time. It's there. Look there, read. If you are lazy to read, that's nobody's problem. You need to read it, find where the qualified or unqualified audit reports are, and then you found where the financial improprieties were done. Don't follow the noise, read the report. And then where the procurement and other, because all these things, they tend to focus on the money. But how about the system audit? To fix the system so that the next people that come don't abuse it. Audits are meant not just to punish, but to identify the weaknesses in the system, and then the next year to fix it. So it's there. But we have more than 100 agencies in the government. You have that, juxtapose that to a cost about, on average, 3 months. If you're auditor here, you correct me, to audit one institution. 100 institution. The cost, juxtapose that to 6 years, juxtapose that to 18 years, to 12 years. 3 branches of government. Joseph Boakai was spending a whole first time trying to audit, and it will not finish. At the meantime, we got to fly the plane while we repair the plane, guys. It's a bread and butter issue we must prioritize. If you don't bring, if Mr. Boakai does not bring the population around with him, there will be chaos there. The same chaos we saw when President Weah became president, 16 billion container gate, 25 million mop-up gate, deny HBS and all that stuff. The economy went into a tailspin for 39 months. They never recovered. What caused them the defeat? 39 months is a long time for the economy to be in a slump. 40% inflation. Exchange rate jump up. Right now it's at 185, 190. How do you expect to win election in that environment? It's not possible. So those who are advocating, my UP friends, for audits, I hear you. And the audit will happen. The president has committed. The way to do it, that's what we need to figure out. Then the other side said, no, don't stop there, you gotta go back. But you're talking about more than 100 institutions. You're talking about average of 3 months per institution. You're talking about probably average, about $100,000 to do one audit. Then times this, times that, just the cost is even more than the budget. How do you fly a plane while you repair it so the plane does not crash? Are we thinking about that? You think the civil servants will pay for you to audit before you pay them? The commercial banks in the country, you owe them the debt burden. This government borrowed $1 billion in 6 years versus $1 billion in 8 years. $2.1 billion is our debt burden, almost going to where it was before we got the debt waiver. The borrowing space is closing, leaving no room for development money. Is that what we worry about? And get this country going, or everybody want to put somebody and put in jail? I think we can do both, but we can do it with sense, so we don't crash the plane. Then the victory will be meaningless. Don't be angry in your victory. This is my caution to the advocates for audit. Yes, if these guys didn't do terrible things, they would not have been sanctioned. They did terrible things. And there should be consequences. But if we mind the noise, if we mind the emotions, and we lose the population in the first 100 days, it will be hard for us to fly this plane and fix it. Thank you very much.
Amara Konneh, here's the final question before you take a seat. Everybody here can agree, whether they oppose you or they are for you, that you are a Liberian of consequence. This evening you spoke personally about the issues in our country. You even proposed some solutions. At one point you talked about an inspirational leader that we need. Whether you are a foreign minister or senator, you can only make changes at the margin. The most change you can make is when you are the head of the government. So if you're an Amara Konneh presidency on the horizon.
Hey, bro. I'm going to tell you one friend, man. You see, my friend just surprised me. Look.
Welcome to Minnesota.
Yes. Let me answer a question frankly. At this point, I have not developed the fire in my belly to run for president. Not yet. And I want you to trust me. At this moment, I have not developed the fire in my belly to run for president. What I want to focus on now is to be the best senator. That's what I want to do. I want to go in there, build alliances with my colleagues, and get things moving, and hold the executive accountable, and hold ourselves accountable, and try to create an enabling environment for the private sector. Cut out the corruption and bring back FDI, the foreign direct investment. We have to do that. Let the airport work. You know, let the port, the free port, the Buchanan port, let them work. Let LEC work. You got all the infrastructure, but your management is lousy because you get terrible people who you put there because they are your friends or your partisans. Find the best Liberians to fix these institutions so they can help the country. That's my dream right now. Now, if that leads to presidency, I don't know. But for now, I want to be the best senator. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you want to do pictures with the senator, please hold. We are not done yet. Excuse me, can we please hold? Please have a seat. Please have a seat. The podium is not out there. Can you please have your seats? Can you please have your seats, please? Can you please have your seat? We're not done yet. Can you please hold the handshake in your hearts? Can you please have your seats? Please hold the cameras. Can you please hold the cameras for now? Can we please hold the cameras for now? Please have our seats. Please hold the camera. Can you please stop the pictures for now? Can we please stop? Let's do it.
I'm the chairman of the board of directors. I know my name is not there, but the chairman cannot be here. I'm going to board of thanks. So, Olivia, you got to do the board of thanks and then you want to take their pictures, please.
Hello. For us to get to the senator-elect and take pictures, please give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Guys, please give me 30 seconds. Let's respect. Thank you to ONM. Thank you to our Liberian community. Thank you to the church that has hosted this program. All of you, Imam Duque, I saw Pastor Wong here. I want to say thank you. The Senator, thank you for this time. We really appreciate it. And we hope this will not be the last visit. Thank you. And I want to in this public manner says, we hope other senators can follow because of our open government. Thank you very much. Thank you, KMTV. Thank you, KMTV, for all you do for the community. Thank you. Bye-bye. The pictures is going to be done outside. The senator will make itself available for us to take you outside to go essentially we want to have our benediction. Can we tell the man that we are going to have to make our people outside? My uncle got a few from the land to take the picture outside.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please come around to take the picture with the senator. Let's go outside, please.